You've had a busy summer, wouldn't you say?
Busy, very busy.
Let's see, you got married,
Yep,
you played for your country,
yep.
and you started a community water project to help your fellow Australians.
Yeah,
That's done in about 3-month time period, where everybody else it would take probably about 3 to 4 years to do all this.
Yeah.
Well, let's just start at the top, getting married.
Yeah, that was probably the #1 highlight.
Good.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, obviously weddings and marriages, there's a lot of effort that gets put into it. But it was fun, we didn't take it for granted. The process for us was awesome. We've done a lot of things together to be able to get to that point. But at the end of the day, for both of our families to get together and celebrate, I think was huge. We made it a really cultural wedding, which was important for both of us on many accounts, but just an awesome time.
And you and Alyssa have been together a long time. It's not something you just threw together.
Few years. Yeah, we had been. We've been through a lot together, obviously going to college together, both playing basketball at St. Mary's. But, she's been there through, the ups and downs, and, for us to obviously tie the knot was huge for both of us. But I think at the end of the day, we just love each other's company and being around each other, and I couldn't ask for a better support system in herself to be able to help me go along and do what I got to do on the basketball court. So best friend for sure.
But you didn't go on a honeymoon.
We did not. We have not yet.
And instead you decided to once again help your fellow countrymen in another way.
Yeah.
You decided to start a community water project.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, and this obviously ties into how great Alyssa has been in supporting me, but we haven't gone on our honeymoon yet, and the chance that we had to go on one, we both decided to accomplish this community water project within very remote Indigenous communities around Australia. Something that we both have been working on for quite some time. Obviously, being in Australia these days isn't a lot, so making the opportunity of being back there. But we partnered with a company from Phoenix called Zero Mass Water, which they have created a solar hydro panel to be able to use the moisture and sunlight and humidity to be able to create clean drinking water. So we've taken these panels and we've placed them in 6 different very remote communities within Australia, places where they don't have water, and if they do, it's not accessible or they can't use it. So it was an important trip to be able to improve the lives of Indigenous Australians, and something that we managed to go to these communities and put these panels in, and to see the emotional feedback from the community members and the kids was something that was very emotional, and something that I'm very pleased that we had the opportunity to do it. But it's just the first step. Obviously, there's way more than just 6 communities, Indigenous communities in Australia. So hopefully we can continue to build this relationship and get more resources and people to buy in to be able to improve, because water is important, and the access to clean water is a human right, which these people don't have. So improving this lifestyle was meant a lot to me.
And along the way, you represented your country in the FIBA World Cup games.
Yep.
What was that like for you? I know you didn't win the gold, but yet I know you're very proud of your home country, and at the same time representing Australia, but also at the same time for yourself, it was also a big moment because of your stats.
Yeah.
It improved dramatically with almost 50% shooting. That's better than you've done even in the NBA. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think playing for Australia, there's obviously a lot more meaning that comes behind wearing those colours and stepping out on the floor. And for example, the Community Water Project, that kind of goes underneath the umbrella of playing for Australia. So there's a lot of meaning for me when it comes to putting those colours on. And having the chance to represent Australia at that world stage at a World Cup is obviously great. There's another level of fire that is ignited when I have that opportunity. But in talking about individual performances, I've always had a different role on the national team that I might have had here in San Antonio, and making the most of that opportunity to go back and play is obviously great fun. For me, I guess the challenge that I've got to find is being able to see how I can transition that into my role here in San Antonio. So it's a good challenge to have, and something I'm going to look forward to putting in place this season.
Well, and you bring up a good point. Transitioning it to San Antonio, do you think that means perhaps more because you were able to score more for Australia, see you more in the starting lineup perhaps as the off guard rather as the starting point guard?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility, you think?
Pacifics now, I'm not sure. It's going to be we just walked off the court less than 2 weeks ago from the Australian team, so haven't had the opportunity to be able to dive in just yet, but who knows? I think it's going to be one of those things where we're going to learn about each other on the fly and how this new team is going to come together and be able to execute your individual roles. So we'll see, but that challenge is out there for me to try and grab by the horns and make the most of it, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless.
What does it mean getting DeJounte back for this team?
Awesome. I'm super excited to get back on the court with him. He's a huge, important element to our team, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. So to have him back is huge, as well as these other little pieces that I think is going to play a major part in our success or not throughout the year. So, just talking about it in the last couple of days, and excited to be back in the mix and kind of dive into everything. It's going to be a fun year.
What was your take, because you're around Pop, you're around Team USA, you're around a lot of the other competitors, of some fans' reaction to Team USA not bringing home the gold and instead finishing 7th? Some fans were upset about that. Yep. What was your reaction?
I think everyone's got to understand how well the rest of the world is developing within basketball. And you throw on top of that the amount of time that everyone has spent together to be able to get to this stage, and for us as an Australian team, we've had a number of years together of high quality players and experience that you put together. And the other great example is Argentina, and obviously Manu and what they've been able to build over their time. Everyone else is doing the same, and you look at the schedule that USA had in lead up to the semi-finals. It wasn't an easy for anyone, no matter who you had as a team. So it was a hard schedule, and they're always going to get their team's best, because the target is on their back, and but I really think it's a credit to the development of other countries and how much better they're getting.
What was your reaction when we found out Tim Duncan was going to be an assistant coach on this team?
Yeah, look, awesome. For many different reasons. I think obviously the transition that this franchise is taking, and finding out about ourselves and what path we're taking into the next. His involvement within the team was always going to be huge no matter what. So I think for him to take this position, guys have a chance to be able to pick his brain a little bit more, and him to have a little bit more of his hands on helping guys on the team. So I'm really excited for it, to be honest. I think it's huge, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it, obviously, throughout the way.
Didn't surprise you just a little bit that he'd want to do that?
Look, it obviously did, but there's a part of me that wasn't surprised at the same time. And he's here to be able to help transition wherever we're going, to make sure we are on the right path. And I'm looking forward to what he can bring. We've got obviously a lot of young guys here, and me being the veteran on the team can lean on him to be able to help these young boys, because it is a unique culture within the Spurs family, and for us to be able to come together to be able teach these young boys on how we do things is important without taking it away from their uniqueness about themselves. But I'm excited about that part, to be honest.
You may have to take him shopping though, because he may have to have a road
I'll
coat
take
and a
care of
home
that.
coat.
Yeah, definitely. Get some style mixed in. I'll take care of that.
Finally, did you catch Manu's little joke while you were out doing what you were doing with the wig when he took on Tony in the charity basketball game?
Did
you see that?
That was awesome.
What did you think?
I thought it was great. It brought some flashback memories I think a lot of people had of when he had long hair. But one thing that I think people always forget is that he didn't have long hair for that long. It was only one season, but the amount of success I guess he had and photos and videos that constantly are being shown makes it seem otherwise. But that was a cool little thing he pulled off there.
Finally, where do you see the Spurs fitting in this Western Conference? The teams have changed a lot. I mean, Kawhi's now with the Clippers,
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook with Houston. There's just so much jumbling that occurred during this offseason, and to a point where some fans were a little suspect because all this happened right at the start of free agency, where it looked like a lot of these deals had already been done, especially one like with Kevin Durant. All of a sudden, boom, the day of, the first day, he's in Brooklyn. You know? What did you think?
Yeah, it's always a surprise, I guess, when you see all these moving parts. I don't think it ever changes the fact how strong the Western Conference is, but it goes along with being with the business and being a professional athlete of just having to learn on the fly, and this is what we have again. The other teams are going to have to go through the fact of getting everyone on the same page just as much as we do, and how individuals fit within the team and whatnot. At the end of the day, it's going to be what team can learn the quickest and be able to adjust on the fly. So, we're obviously going to go through it too with the different parts of our team. I'm really looking forward to it on how I can help be able to get everyone on the same page and move forward. But it's going to be a good year.
Good luck this season, and thank you for what you've done for your community.
Thank you very much, mate.